Hey guys, this is Hamilton here, and this is What If Naruto Was Nara Part 6, and so I hope you all enjoy. There's a couple quick announcements before we start the video. One, this video is actually coming out on Friday, not Thursday, because I usually finish the videos quite late at night, and so I wanted to see if I could just simply schedule it for the next day, but earlier. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying that today/tomorrow, but anyways, yeah. So, without further ado, roll the intro. Once the scrolls reached their peak, they unraveled with a deafening boom and unleashed thousands of clones. The noise caused everyone to stop for a moment. The Leaf Shinobi gained a little extra hope that the leaf would prevail after seeing thousands of Narutos falling from the sky. The invading forces grew slightly discouraged at the sight before them. With Hiruzen and Orochimaru and his guards paused for a couple of seconds, allowing Jiraiya to slip inside the barrier while invisible. Hiruzen could feel him, but because Orochimaru was so confident that he could beat Hiruzen on his own, he didn't sense Jiraiya. Back with Naruto's clones. All over the village, they were taking down the enemy shinobi. As fast as the opponents could take down the Naruto clones, another one appeared in his place. Also, the clones weren't easy to take down, seeing as how they were all Chunin level in strength, though they could only take 1 or 2 hits before dispelling. They were doing a lot of damage to the invading forces, and the head raid dispelled all the snake summons. Back with Hiruzen. Hiruzen was doing fine against Orochimaru, even though he was still old and proved to be much stronger than Orochimaru in a straight-up fight. Orochimaru jumped back and summoned Hashirama and Tobirama. Jiraiya was waiting for the perfect moment to switch the sealing kunai Orochimaru had and was going to put in the first and second Hokage's heads with a pair of sealing kunai Naruto made. With preparing for the invasion, Hiruzen had noticed that there were additions to the Edo Tensei Jutsu in Orochimaru's handwriting in the scroll of sealings. He had assumed Orochimaru knew this jutsu and had Naruto prepare a counter for it. The sealing kunai Naruto had made would prevent Orochimaru from controlling the revived person, and it would also prevent Orochimaru from dispelling the jutsu. The jutsu would only dispel on Orochimaru's death, so if they thought Orochimaru was dead, but the first and second Hokages didn't fade away, they knew he was still alive. As Orochimaru slipped the kunai into their heads, he felt something was off. "Hey Orochimaru, I think you meant to use these," Jiraiya said, becoming visible, holding up the sealing kunai Orochimaru meant to use. Before Orochimaru could say anything, he got kicked in the stomach by Tobirama, throwing him away from the Hokages. "Drop the barrier!" Orochimaru shouted, running towards the nearest corner of the barrier. He stopped when he saw Naruto in a kneeling position, holding the snake hand sign. Kidomaru's corpse was lying next to the Naruto, with his throat cut. Flashback. The Sound Four had put up the barrier and were deep in concentration keeping it up. Naruto, seeing his chance, quickly created 4 shadow clones that burst out of the roof and quickly killed the Sound Four. While they were doing that, Naruto had quickly replaced the barrier with his own. While doing this, Naruto created another shadow clone to take his place. And the timing between when the Sound Force barriers fell and Naruto's barrier went up was almost seamless. Naruto then created 4 shadow clones to hold the barrier while he went and collected some auto shinobi for information on Orochimaru's bases. Flashback end. Orochimaru whipped back around in time to be nailed in the face by Tobirama. He fell back and he felt wood wrap around him, leaving his head unbound. He then started to feel his chakra being drained. He quickly opened his mouth, and out came his giant snake form. This is the one that Sasuke fought when Orochimaru was when he tried to kill Orochimaru. Anyway, back to the story. Hashirama quickly formed a wooden cage around it and started draining his chakra. Slowly, at first, and then quicker, Orochimaru stopped moving. "I am so disappointed in you, Orochimaru," Hiruzen said, before Orochimaru's eyes dulled and he died of chakra exhaustion. "Well then, Saru," Hashirama said. "Goodbye," as he and Tobirama faded away. I hope you still have the will of fire. He and Tobirama faded away, signifying that Orochimaru was really dead. The barrier was then dropped, and Jiraiya and Hiruzen went to go see what they could help with. With Naruto. The real Naruto was racing through the trees after Kabuto. He felt him trying to escape and followed in pursuit. He had left a message because he probably needed help. After all, he didn't know Kabuto's full skill strength. The chase continued for about 5 minutes, when Naruto felt someone start following him. Their signature didn't feel friendly. They are extremely powerful, much stronger than Kabuto's, meant they're either high A rank to S rank. Damn, Naruto thought, as he continued on. Well, if I can speed it up, I might be able to think of a strategy. After another 5 minutes, Naruto caught up with Kabuto, while suppressing his chakra signature. He quickly bombarded Kabuto with 150 clones. They had minimal chakra and were really weak, but they did create a lot of smoke, which blinded Kabuto. Seeing an opportunity, Naruto rushed forward and slapped Kabuto on the forehead. He felt some resistance from Kabuto, seeing as how Kabuto poured his chakra into where he thought his enemy was going to attack so he could start healing before the attack actually landed, but Naruto managed to place a seal on him with just one touch. Naruto jumped away and looked to see if it had been successful. He smiled when he saw the mark on Kabuto's forehead. Kabuto saw the mark through the reflection in his glasses, which were sitting low on his nose. He looked back up at Naruto, just as Naruto performed the ram hand sign and shouted, "Fuin," or seal. Kabuto's head actually snapped back from the burst of chakra entering his brain. He fell to the ground with a dazed look in his eyes. This was the Kioku Fuin, or memory seal. It sealed all the person's memories into a seal on his forehead, in the process killing the target. Even though the target was dead, the seal would remain accessible, but only if the user had the key. Naruto quickly wrote down the key and slipped into the scroll in Kabuto's pouch. He then took off in a large loop back towards the leaf. After a few minutes, 2 people leapt out in front of him. "And you might be," Naruto said, already recognizing the people. "Hidan and Kakasu, the immortal combo, and don't you forget it, little brat," the one named Hidan said rudely. Naruto quickly threw a kunai with wind chakra. Kakasu didn't do much to block because he knew he couldn't be killed, and the kunai quickly drew blood. The kunai Naruto sent at Hidan was narrowly dodged. Seeing as they were distracted, Naruto quickly replaced the kunai he threw at Kakazu with one in his holster. He then took it out and proceeded to fight a battle with Hidan. Kakazu simply stayed back, knowing that Hidan would be able to handle Naruto, and if he wasn't, he would step in later on. Kakazu, Naruto thought. He's listed in the bingo book. It said his mortality comes from the hearts/masks on his back. And Hidan inflicts damage on his opponents by doing it on himself after ingesting some of the target's blood. Interesting. If I can turn them against each other, I might be able to survive. It's a long shot, but I might be able to do it, Naruto thought. After a minute, Hidan saw some blood in his scythe and quickly ingested it, thinking that was Naruto's. "You know, if you try and stab me, it'll take about 5 stabs in my chest area to kill me. All the while I'll be mocking you because you didn't try and cut my voice box, you incompetent kid," Naruto taunted. It had the desired effect. Out of the corner of Naruto's eye, he saw Kakazu realize what Naruto was doing, and tried to warn Hidan. Too late, Naruto thought. Hidan quickly cut his own voice box and saw Naruto drop to the floor. Hidan's voice box healed again, and he started taunting Naruto, while stabbing himself in the chest. What he didn't see was that Kakazu's eyes were widening as his voice box was cut, and the masks on his back were breaking. Hidan proceeded to stab himself for the 5th time, watching Naruto slump to the floor. When he was done, Naruto stood back up without any blood on him. Hidan whirled around and saw a dead Kakazu on the floor. He turned quickly enough and slashed a Naruto clone that was right next to him, who burst into wire wrapping around Hidan. Naruto then quickly yanked a wire in his hand, beheading Hidan, who was laughing at Naruto that he couldn't kill him. Naruto replied, "Well, you will die of malnourishment, I think. Well, it's a far-fetched idea, but who knows? I mean, everyone has to eat, right? Immortality is just a hoax." Hidan paled, wondering how Naruto found out the weakness in his so-called immortality that quickly. And truthfully, Naruto didn't actually figure out. He simply guessed and waited for Hidan to either approve or disapprove of his theory. Naruto then sealed the rest of Hidan's body along with Kakuzu's body in a scroll and was leaving when two more people in red cloaks with clouds appeared. This time Naruto identified them as Deidara, the Mad Bomber of Iwa, and Sasori of the Red Sands. This time Naruto knew he was in trouble. He'd managed to beat up the last pair because Kakuzu was overconfident that Hidan could win without his help, and Hidan was an idiot that Naruto had manipulated into killing Kakuzu. Then falling for a well-placed trap. Neither Deidara nor Sasori were stupid enough to make that kind of mistake. Naruto was about to pull out another kunai when the backlash of having thousands of clones to spell in one day got to him. He collapsed, and the last thing Naruto saw before his vision went dark was a squad of Leaf Ninja appear, including Hiruzen, Genma, and another tall man with white hair. Anyway guys, thanks for listening. I will see you guys next time. Bye.